In business, it's said that if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. The question then is, what do you measure? Well, that's a pretty broad topic. We'd certainly like to hear what you measure, so please feel free to let us know in the comments. Today, though, Dave and I are going to go deep on one specific metric, because if you manage this one metric, you can seriously double your annual revenue. Hello, all you beautiful, ambitious land investors. We are so glad you could join us today. We have an incredible topic for you, so I hope your ears are tuned, your belly is on fire, and you are ready to learn how to double your income. How exciting. Hey, before I continue, just want to say, please, if you can, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell us how you feel. Tell us if you love it. Tell us if you don't love it. Tell us if there's a topic you want to hear. Anything helps. We would love to hear from you. You can follow us on any of your favorite podcast channels as well as on YouTube. So give it a subscribe. It really helps us out and will help us continue to bring you wonderful content. I am Howard Zonder. This is my co-host, David Van Steenkist. How are you doing today, David?
Hola, I am doing very, very well, thanks. It's been a little cold for the past few days, and it's finally warmed up. Just got back.
Looks like green pastures behind you.
I know, it's a gorgeous day. 60 degrees in Colorado in late February is always nice. Just took a walk in the sunshine, got a little vitamin D, and doing well. But before we get started, I want to give a shout out to the folks in Ukraine. It's just a lot of stuff going on in our world, and it's crazy. So if y'all get a little bit of time, just, during your gratitude time, we got a lot to be thankful for sitting here in this country. And I have some friends over there. And, so my heart just bleeds for those people, and, they're definitely in my prayers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've got a good friend here who's, from Kiev originally. And his whole development team is over there, and I know his family's probably there too, and he's in pain right now. So America stands with you, and keep fighting the good fight, and God bless.
Absolutely.
All right.
Speaking
of taking land, but in a more appropriate manner, we're always interested in looking for ways where we can increase our revenue without necessarily having to work a whole lot harder. Isn't the best thing where you can get amount of gain that's completely disproportionate to the amount of effort that you put into it? That's certainly what I love. So Dave, what are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, that is the goal. We are talking about a metric that I don't think anybody tracks, that if you track it and if you act upon it, can, in theory at least, double your revenue.
At least.
Yeah. So that metric that we're not necessarily measuring, some might be, it's called holding time. And that creates velocity of your money. It helps you turn your money more quickly. So how do we reduce the holding time on a property?
Hey, folks, people often talk about automating and outsourcing your land flipping business, but what does that really mean? Generic solutions leave it to you to figure out how to set up and maintain the automations. I've been running my land business on LandSpeed for over 3 years because it's a total solution and allows me to focus on being a great land investor. LandSpeed was built specifically for land investing by a land investor. And with many of the most successful people in the business using it for years, it's evolved into one of the most feature-rich solutions on the market. Some of the key benefits I get are being able to create and manage mail campaigns and neighbor letters. I'm able to automate tasks amongst my team, create contracts and deeds, and email, text, or mail them within a few clicks. I can automatically capture sales leads from any lead source, including Facebook Messenger. then it automatically pushes those leads into my sales funnel so that I can manually follow up, but they also go into my automated drip campaign. And since LandSpeed's a total cloud-based solution, I can run my business from anywhere in the world with a phone, laptop, or tablet. So if you want to turn your hobby into a professional, scalable business, just go to landspeedtech.com/Dave to receive a $150 discount today.
But Dave, what is holding time?
Holding time is the amount of time that you actually own the property, not the time that you control it, but the time that you have paid for it and your money is sitting out there waiting for you to sell it, recoup your capital plus the profit. And so the more times that we can do that, the more times that's our velocity of money. So, we get the property under contract, and let's just assume we're closing with a title company. The typical close time is 30 days, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, but let's just factor 30 days. Should we wait the entire 30 days until we actually close and legally own it to start marketing that property?
No. But let's dig in for a second. Why is this so important? If you, on average, let's just say take a certain investment of money. Let's just say you invest $5,000 into a property, and then you sell that property, and let's just say it takes you I don't know, let's just say I'm going to use really easy numbers here. So let's just say it takes 3 months or 6 months to sell it, right? So then you sell it, and let's say you sell it for $10,000, so you make a $5,000 profit on it. You take $5,000 out of the business for yourself. You invest that other $5,000 back into another property. It takes another 6 months to sell it. You sell it. So basically, you've made $10,000 profit on that initial $5,000 investment across the year. But if you can reduce the time at which it takes you to sell it to 3 months, now you can turn that same money over 4 times. You can pull $20,000 out and still be in the money. So basically, it allows you to double your profits. So without actually increasing the you're not saying I'm going to try to increase the volume of deals. You increase the velocity. So I'm going to take that money and turn it over. How many times can I turn it over in 1 year? And but the time that you're holding it, which is the time at which you close on the acquisition until the time at which you close on the sale, that's your holding time. So if you can understand what your average holding time is and reduce that one metric. So instead of holding it for 6 months, you hold it for 3 months. Instead of holding it for 3 months, holding it for 2 months. Then that means you can turn that original investment over more times per year, and you will increase your revenue considerably. So tracking holding time is really, really important.
Yep. So what are some ways we can reduce that holding time?
Well, there are a few. Well, one of the things we can do, looking at my notes here, and I don't really know what I'm looking at anymore. So, one thing we can do is try to create a list of potential buyers for that property before you even own it. So it's a common thing in land investing to talk about building a buyer's list, but it is actually possible to build a targeted buyer's list for a specific area. How would you do that, Dave?
A couple different ways. So if you've got the first of all, what I love to do is I like to pre-market a property. So as soon as I get the purchase agreement, either as soon as I get it or maybe a couple days after I get it, maybe we've done just a little bit of pre-due diligence, even though it's going through title, just to call and make sure there's, on the surface, at least there's clean chain of title and whatnot, and then start marketing it immediately. And frequently we'll just start marketing immediately because the amount of times that we discover something that's going to keep us from taking down the property is fairly rare. And so we just start pre-marketing the property, whether you have photographs or not. You can start marketing it with screenshots and whatnot. And then when you get further down in due diligence, get your regular photos. But I have many times had a property sold before I closed in that 30 days. I've already had a buyer with it. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to do a double close, because it's, you got to have, it's got to go through the process again with your new buyer. But still, it's reducing your sales time because you've marketed it for 30 days before you've put that capital down. Now, some other ways are also, certainly networking with realtors, seeing if they've got, let's say you're not marketing the property through a realtor. You might be using flat fee MLS. You might just be using the normal land channels. But you can still call up realtors and offer them a finder's fee if they bring you a buyer. Those are great ways to do it. You can also, market in the, to build your buyers list, market in the, in social media groups, Facebook groups, Craigslist, and all the land ad sites. And then of course, so that's pre-marketing it before you've got it. Now, what are some other ways we could speed up sales, Howard?
Well, so I like to have a list of hungry buyers, regardless of what I'm bringing to the market. So if I'm working a specific area, I want to build a buyer's list in that specific area as much as I can. And what I've been doing literally since I started land investing in 2016 is I will just advertise properties. I advertise properties that have long since sold.
Yeah.
And if somebody calls and asks me about them, I say, well, I'm sorry, it already sold. But I get them onto my buyer's list because they're looking for land, and they're looking for land in the area that I want. Some people may question whether that's an appropriate thing to do. I can tell you that that's the way the world works. One of the authors that a lot of entrepreneurs follow is Tim Ferriss, author of the 4-Hour Workweek. If you ever wonder where that name came from, he did a test on Google Ads. And so he tested, to sell the book under a number of different titles, and he found out which one got the best response, and that's what he ended up naming the book. Now, everybody eventually, I suppose, got an opportunity to get the book, but at the time, it wasn't available. So he was just sort of gathering market data by doing this. This is just a market test. And so what we're doing essentially is a market test. We're putting something out there. We're gauging a response. We're building a list, and we're helping everybody out. We're certainly helping ourselves out because we'll sell a property faster, but we're helping them too because it means that when we do have the right property, they're going to find out about it quickly and early, and God willing, somebody's going to find the property of their dreams. So it is a win-win situation when you do that. Building that buyer's list is priceless. So whether you're posting them on LandWatch or Land and Farm or Facebook or Craigslist or Land Hub, wherever you're doing it, just collect up those leads, put them in your buyer's list, and then when the properties, as soon as the property is not owned, but as David said, as soon as it's under contract, now you've got a specific property to market to them.
Absolutely, and the ethics of that is absolutely clean because you control the property as soon as you have it under contract. You may not own it, but you control it. One of the things that I have done a couple of times as well, and that was when I was going into a new market, going to test a new market where I didn't see a lot of activity of land investors there. I would run some mock ads to see what kind of response I got. So, run those on various sites, Facebook, Craigslist, and Land Flip, things like that. And so you build your, you're able to gauge kind of the interest in a 5-acre property in this new county or whatever. And then also build some people on your buyers list that way. But certainly also, once you have it taken down, acquired, once you've taken the property down, with all your marketing, whether it's pre-marketing or not, you want to be in as many places as possible. Now that gets expensive, but if you're able to turn your properties a lot faster and create massive velocity and double your income, then it's certainly worth the extra marketing money if you
Absolutely
get them done faster. I do what you were mentioning also, where I don't do it with every property, but if I have a hot property that's driving a lot of leads, and sometimes it'll sell really fast, but the lead just, how sometimes it hits that algorithm and it just goes exponential on the leads, and then bam, you sell it. Properties like that, I'll leave them out there. Even if they're taking up a slot on Land.com, I'll leave them out there for a little while, because they really build your buyers list.
Yeah, I had I don't always do this now, but through most of my career, I've done this. I just didn't take my ads down. I just left them up there.
Yeah.
So they sold. Oh, I'm sorry, this one already sold. But I have another one. Especially if you're dealing with desert squares, it's really easy because they're so fungible. That one sold, but I have a different one. You may actually like this one better. Let me send you the information.
Yeah. And if somebody gets upset, I'll just say, we marked it sold on our website, but sometimes we don't get to the ad sites right away.
Yeah, exactly. No, I've never had anybody be upset. I've never.
No. I've had somebody that was really disappointed. She was like, I love that property. Another one. We'll try.
So I want the property right behind you, David. I want that one right now.
Yeah, I know. Who doesn't, right? I think that's in La Vida. All right. Well, I think we're, what do you think? I think that's about it. It's a pretty short topic.
Yeah, it's a short topic, but it's a really important one. So again, the metric is holding time, and it's the difference between the closing date of the acquisition and the closing date of the sale. You can track that by property. You can look at that as an aggregate across all your properties and say, okay, now I know that in this period of my land investing, this many properties, my average holding time has been, 67 days. So now you've got a great target to put in your goals. All right, my next goal is to bring that down to 50 days. How do I bring it from 67 days down to, or even down to 60? How do I bring it from 67 days to 60? And if you just do that and keep working on improving that metric, you'll get more turns in, which means you're going to be able to just keep reinvesting that same money over and over and over again. And by the way, we're saying if you pull out your original investment, it'll double your money in a year. But if you just keep reinvesting the profits, it's going to grow astronomically. I mean, it's going to be compound growth. So something to think about.
Excellent. All right. Good topic. Thanks, Howard.
All righty, guys. See you next time.
We hope you enjoyed this episode, had a bit of fun, and walked away with some actionable insights that you can apply to your business. Dave and I have got some great content and interviews planned, so don't forget to rate and review, and of course subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. If we mention any interesting links or tools, you'll find them in the show notes. To learn more about Land.MBA, visit our website at, wait for it, Land.MBA. See you next time on the Land.MBA Podcast.